What's good, everybody? This is Casey Supreme with Internet Money. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on FL Studio 20. I'm going to break down all the new features and show you some tips and tricks that you can do with the new software. I personally like it a lot. I know a lot of people watching this are still on FL Studio 11, but I think FL Studio 20 is a good jump to make because it brings back a lot of old features that FL Studio 12 did not have. I know it looks the same pretty much as FL Studio 20. Personally, I think it's a little sleeker, but other than that, I think it's a good idea to make the jump. So let's start by talking about the Mac version. So now FL Studio has a full Mac version. That means you don't have to run Parallels on your Mac. That means you don't have to download some beta version of FL Studio that doesn't work correctly and has glitches. The full version is now out, and it's also cross-compatible. So if I'm on a PC and you're on a Mac, I can send you a collab and it's fully compatible. You can open it up just fine. That's a great feature. Another cool feature they added is they added more playlist tracks. I think it goes to 500 now. Not really a feature I'm going to use because I didn't get anywhere close to maxing out the old playlist amount, but it's still cool nonetheless. So another cool thing is the sample channel. They brought back legacy effects and they've added some other features. So one cool feature in particular is the ability to take kicks out of 808 using this sample start offset knob. So if we drag in an 808, it's from my new kit, by the way, video game themed, as you can see. There's a kick in the beginning of the 808. You can even see it in the waveform. You can use this knob to change where the sample starts. So you can manipulate different kind of samples like that, but in particular, it's very handy for taking out kicks out of 808s. The same knob is over here. This one's called Start Offset, but it's basically the same thing. It works a little differently. It's similar to MPC or Machine, where you can move this knob and choose where the sample starts. It does the same thing, it just looks a little different. They brought back the legacy effects, meaning this boost knob is back. A lot of people used to use that for the kicks in 808 to make it hit a lot harder. Now it has this clip function. So you can literally distort your 808s in the sampler window without having to do anything else to it. There's some other cool knobs like ring modulation. So there's some cool things you can do with that. Stereo delay. There's reverb, EQ, stuff like that. So that's really cool. I'm glad they brought that feature back. And once again, I think the boost and clip option is going to be very handy for making kicks and 808s hit a little harder, maybe even snares. So now let's find a clap that has a reverb or a delay. This one has it. Here's a good example. So now you can use this length knob and you can actually pull it out. So you can actually remove that delay and kind of chop the end of your samples off. You used to be able to do it with the out knob, but it only went so far to where some of it was still left. And so now they added this new feature, you can completely remove it. So now you can consolidate tracks in the playlist, and basically what it does is it bounces the track to audio and it creates a little drop down where you can keep the MIDI file underneath. So here, let me spread these out a little bit. So if we take this, select one, I think you have to select it. Gonna go to edit, tools, consolidate from song start. It's gonna pull up this normal export window, just do start. And now you have the audio file and you have the MIDI and it's automatically muted. I only selected this clip so it didn't affect these ones. But what you can do is rearrange the order like this. So the MIDI is muted underneath and you have an audio file. So you can keep the MIDI and then you just click this arrow to kind of hide it. It kind of tucks it underneath. So that's a cool feature. You can also undo it. So it's not permanent. Let me get there. Undo it. And now we're back to just the MIDI. So that's a cool feature you can do. Then another feature is, let's see. Let's take this. It's Nexus up here in the pattern window. We can do render and replace. It's gonna pull up the window just as well. I'm gonna do start. Now it has replaced all instances in the playlist with audio files. Also, even though it's deleted the MIDI file from the playlist, it's still here in the pattern. You can still click it back in if you want to, but that's a good way if you want to work with audio and do mixing with all your audio clips instead of MIDI. You can replace all the MIDI files in your project. Let's move on to the next new feature. So let's say we have this audio clip I just rendered. So we got that. Now we can right click here and there's a new region called chop. So now we can chop this into pieces automatically, like so. It's a really cool feature for sampling. I have another video I'm about to drop where I go into depth on how to use that. So keep a lookout for that. Another new thing they added that personally I don't see myself ever using, but it's there. If you go to a MIDI pattern, you can go to time markers, add a time signature change. So you can say 3/4. Now the piano roll is going to be in 3/4 time. You can now go up here to arrangement. You can clone it. It now becomes arrangement 2, and we can say, okay, I want the beat to start like this. I want it to be different. You know, I want a version with a different style hook or something like that. Now you have 2 arrangements you can flip between, and whatever one you have selected is the one that's going to bounce out when you export your beat. So you can basically have multiple versions of one beat within one FOP rather than having to duplicate the FOP and change it and save it as multiple versions. Now, one last thing I'm going to go through FL Studio 20 is they brought back the graph editor. So let's do it with some hi-hats. That's a better example. So let's take this hi-hat and we're gonna do every 2. We can open the graph editor and we can play with the velocity without having to open the piano roll, just like FL Studio 11. But now they have this new one, which is note pitch, and it's really cool. You can drag it bigger right here. And it's basically the piano roll, a MIDI version that pops up in the channel rack. So with an 808 or whatever, you can take this and change the pitch without having to open up the piano roll. So that's basically it. That's everything I'm going to cover today. As you can see, there's a lot of new cool features. I love FL Studio 20, and I hope you guys find some value from this video. So yeah, with that being said, I hope everyone has a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Leave a comment below. Follow me on Instagram. I'm out.